This is what I've been making recently. I transformed a couple of old flower pots that I had that were just a bit dull and boring into this cute shell coated flower pot and jewellery organiser in one. And in the other, the flower pot on the left is just a flower pot I wanted to buy but I couldn't find anywhere. And yeah, I'm just going to show basically how I made it. This is what it turned out like. I'm really proud. I think it looks super cute. And all I had to pay for was the clay. So I got some old flower pots. I think the one on the left is just an old flower pot or like a bottom of a jar that was given to me. So I just emptied out my flower pots and slash bamboo holders as well. That's what I sometimes use them for. And I got my clay ready. These are on Amazon, 2 for £7, but you can actually get them in Hobbycraft for £2 each, which is a lot cheaper. So I've ended up doing that in the future. Here's me attempting to open it, which is a lot harder. Don't do it like I'm doing it. Use scissors. I'm just super lazy and I always end up hurting myself. To cut up the clay, I use thread. It's really satisfying and it does a good job without you having to put the clay on a flat surface, which is pretty good. This is me trying to put together petals and it's not going well, as you can see. And then I had the idea to use lollipop sticks, so I got these from the craft store or Poundland as well, for like £1 for a pack of 50. So they're pretty affordable, and these help me stand up the petals. They stood upright without using too much clay. I just made sure to add enough clay in the centre so that it covered up the lollipop stick, but it made the petal look realistic at the same time. You don't need to use a pot, by the way, but for me I needed like a stable foundation because I was too lazy to build the clay pot first. But you can do that. But I was lazy, I just wanted to upcycle some of my old pots. And this was a way of me doing it quicker in a fun way, I guess. I then did this the whole way around the pot. I made like big petals and just worked my way around. And a side note, when I was making this, I had no idea what I was doing. I was just winging it and making it up as I go. My lollipop sticks were just out because I was using them to like wax my legs. And I was like, oh my god, I can use these to make my flower pot stand upright. And here we are. So every little helps, I guess. And what I love about clay making is no two pieces are the same. So just add your own little touch to it. These are the plates I got in Primark for like £5. I was using them as inspo for texture and sort of what I wanted the petals to look like, as like a rough sort of canvas, I guess, of what to follow. I did like a slight pressure when applying these to the bottom of the flower pot, but I was just being so sort of winging it and making it up as I go just to keep it fun and just to trust the process. At times I have no idea where I'm going with the clay, but it just sort of works out at the end when you're patient with it and let it dry over time. I added like more clay to the centre of the petal to add more dimension to it, and then more to the bottom to help it stick better. You can use water as well to help it stick, but I heard less water reduces the amount of cracks that happen when the air dry clay dries, so do bear that in mind. Here's an example of it just falling off. This happened so many times, but it's all part of the process. So after adding the bigger petals, I went round in the gaps I added smaller ones. I just did like 3 rows of this, I guess, and this is what it sort of looked like. I am going to paint this as well at some point. I'm just too lazy, and I'm like the sort of person that has like a million half-done projects in my room, but at some point in my lifetime I will paint this. I just haven't got the energy or the inspiration yet to do so. I need to be inspired with what colours I'm going to use and what I want it to look like. I might even add more clay to this later on, who knows. So for the jewellery organiser flower pot, I had loads of shells and a bit of pottery from when I went to Cornwall. And there were millions of shells, guys, so please don't come for me for taking the shells from the beach. I took these to craft. I knew I was going to turn them into something. And after I organised them into like the different types of shells they were and gave them a good clean, I sort of tried to envision what I wanted to do with this. I wasn't sure whether to do a jewellery holder or a flower pot, and I thought, oh, I'll just do both and sort of merge it and see what it looks like, because I have my flower pots on my dresser bit anyway where I get dressed. It'd be convenient to have it in one place. I added a strip of clay to the centre of the pot, like spiralling around it, going downward, and I added the round shells onto this. So these are the things that would hold the earrings and the jewellery and stuff. I thought it looked cute like this. And then I started adding more clay around the spiral and on the rim of the pot, and then adding shells to it. And in hindsight, I should have done the top of the pot last because it's easier to turn the pot upside down and add shells to it. So I highly recommend to do the top bit last, even though it is tempting because it is the prettiest part of the pot for me anyway. And this is where I'm glad I grouped the shells, because I wanted them to be in different lines of different types of shells, with the smallest ones at the top. Here I'm adding gold paint I got from Hobbycraft just on the rims of the shells to brighten them a bit. And I'm adding more clay. This is a mistake I kept making. The shells kept falling off, like certain ones that were heavier, especially the jewellery holders. So once I moulded them into the clay, I left it to dry, and then I used a glue gun or super glue to hold them into place afterward. And then this is the final result. I think it's so cute. I'm very happy with it. I feel like this would be the sort of thing that's expensive to buy, but it's like literally costs nothing apart from the clay to make if you've just got a boring flower pot and shells in your local area. Like, look how cute it is. And I love how it doesn't take up like twice as much space. So I would have loads of trinkets for my jewellery and my flower pot, because I like flower pots, on like my dressing up area. So I can just have 2 in 1, which is cute. And it's also something you made, and it costs less. Like, what's there not to like? This I do like as well. I just need to paint it at some point, so I will get around to doing that. I might film it, I might not. But I think the shell pot is cute as it is. I feel the colours go with the shells really well. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. This is what I've been making in my summer so far, and I'll just keep adding things as I go.